While this podcast isn't rated explicit, the content may not be suitable for younger listeners. Welcome to Sex for Saints, the Christian couple's guide to great sex. I am your host, certified sex and marriage coach, Amanda Lauder. This is episode 347, Sexual Introverts versus Sexual Extroverts. Welcome to Sex for Saints, a podcast for Christian couples. My goal with this podcast is to help enlighten, educate, and inspire you to understand yourself, your spouse, and your sexuality better. I talk about sex in a way you probably haven't heard before. I'm bold, I'm direct, but I keep everything in line with my strong Christian values. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Every marriage is a dance, with a partner bringing their unique rhythm and style. But what happens when one person's rhythm comes from deep within, preferring the peace of solitude, while the other thrives in connection, stimulation, and external energy? To understand how introverts and extroverts approach sex and intimacy, I think it's helpful to start with the basics of each personality type. Introverts tend to recharge when they're alone, enjoying quieter, low-energy activities that allow for reflection and calm. They find satisfaction in small, close-knit interactions and may feel depleted after prolonged or intense social interactions. In contrast, extroverts gain energy from social situations and are drawn to environments that allow frequent connection and lively interaction. They typically feel the most alive when they're engaging with others, whether it's through meeting new people, being part of a group, or diving into new experiences. Now, some people tend to be one or the other, but many people are actually a blend of both. And the core differences between introverts and extroverts can really shape how each person approaches sex and intimacy in their marriage. Introverts, for instance, often see intimacy as a more inward and personal experience that requires mental and emotional preparation. They prefer physical connection that feels slow and gradual and deeply meaningful. On the other hand, extroverts often approach sex and intimacy with a sense of spontaneity, viewing it as a fun, bonding experience that keeps energy levels high. And this difference can cause some friction if both partners aren't attuned to each other's needs. For example, an introverted spouse may need quiet time to unwind before bed and before sex, while their extroverted partner may be ready for closeness right after social activity. Without a shared understanding of each other's unique rhythms, misunderstandings can easily arise. So when one spouse is an introvert and the other is an extrovert, their approach to connection can often feel at odds, sometimes leading to really big misunderstandings or feelings of frustration. An extroverted spouse may need regular engagement to feel emotionally close. So if they're met with withdrawal, they may interpret it as a lack of affection or interest. Meanwhile, introverts can feel overwhelmed by the extrovert's desire for frequent interaction and may find it challenging to keep up without feeling drained. And these differences in energy and desire for connection can feel like personal rejection unless both partners understand where the other one is coming from. Take the example of an extroverted spouse who craves frequent physical affection as a way to stay bonded. They might initiate spontaneous hugs, kisses, or intimate moments to keep the spark alive. If their introverted spouse is feeling exhausted from social interactions or just daily stresses, they might resist these advances. And over time, the extroverted spouse might feel like their partner isn't interested in keeping that relationship alive. So without open communication, both partners can easily end up feeling hurt or disconnected, creating a rift that stems from misunderstanding rather than a lack of love. So, in some cases, the introverted spouse may really struggle to meet their extroverted partner's needs for engagement simply because they feel tapped out, leading to frustration from both people. An introvert might feel guilty that they can't give more, while the extrovert feels lonely or even rejected. So, in these situations, it's really important for both partners to learn to accept that their needs for connection may look different and to develop ways to honor each other's preferences without resentment or pressure. Are you and your spouse ready to take your relationship to the next level? Whether you're feeling disconnected, struggling with intimacy, or just wanting to strengthen your bond, couples coaching can be the game changer your relationship deserves. And I've got some exciting news. I've introduced new flexible options for couples coaching, giving you more options to fit your schedule, goals, and budget. Plus, my new lower pricing makes this life-changing work more accessible than ever. Couples coaching is an investment in your relationship that brings incredible benefits. You'll learn how to improve communication, understand each other's needs, and develop a more collaborative and fulfilling partnership. And yes, we'll address the intimate parts of your marriage too, helping you create the kind of connection you've always wanted. Don't wait to make your relationship a priority. Visit amandalauder.com/couples to learn more and book your spot today. Let's create the marriage you've both been dreaming of, starting now. So, can you change your partner? The desire to change one's partner to better align with our own needs is really common. But when it comes to introversion and extroversion, it's not likely to be effective or healthy, as with most ways we try to change our spouse. Introversion and extroversion traits are part of a person's fundamental temperament. They're not just behaviors, but natural ways of interacting with the world. So trying to force an introverted spouse to be more social or pushing an extroverted partner to crave more solitude is bound to lead to frustration and disappointment on both sides. So if anything, pushing for change may leave the partner feeling unaccepted, leading to tension or a feeling that they're inadequate just as they are. So instead of trying to change one another, couples can focus on healthy adaptations that respect each person's needs while balancing those of the relationship. For example, if an extroverted spouse feels disconnected when their introverted partner needs alone time, they could agree on a set time for togetherness balanced with solo time. The introvert could spend 30 minutes alone after work to recharge, while the extrovert uses that time to engage in an energizing activity. Then they can both come back ready to connect in a way that feels positive for both of them. Another example is when an extroverted spouse expresses their need for regular social outings, while the introverted spouse might prefer a night home. Rather than pushing each other, they could alternate activities, enjoying a quiet Saturday together at home one weekend and spending the following Saturday out socializing. Or maybe the extrovert can occasionally go out with friends while the introvert is comfortable at home. By seeing each other's needs as part of the relationship dynamic rather than a flaw, they can work together to respect each other's boundaries. So how do we bridge the gap in that sexual and emotional connection? We really need to set realistic expectations and routines. This is key to bridging the gap. Planning specific time for quality connection, whether it's a date night, an intimate evening, or just casual conversation, that can help the introverted spouse feel prepared, while the extroverted spouse knows they have a designated time to look forward to. Scheduled time like this allows both partners to feel their needs are recognized without overwhelming either person. Additionally, if an introverted partner has a specific time set aside to recharge alone, they're more often willing to and able to fully engage afterward, which gives the extrovert the sense of connection that they need. Another way to bridge the gap is by creating a connection toolbox with a range of options for expressing love and affection. For example, if physical connection is especially important to the extroverted spouse, small gestures like hand-holding, sitting close, or hugging on the couch might meet that need without overwhelming the introvert. Simple actions like these can help the extrovert feel close while still respecting the introvert's need for less intense pace. Additionally, small acts of affection throughout the day, like a quick text or a thoughtful note, can help the extroverted spouse feel appreciated and loved without requiring constant interaction. Now, for the extroverted spouse, finding social outlets outside of the marriage is another strategy to help them feel energized without pressuring their partner to join in all the time. This doesn't mean seeking connection inappropriately, but rather finding fulfilling friendships and activities that satisfy their need for social interaction. So an extroverted spouse might enjoy joining a book club, participating in a social sports league, or volunteering in a community project, activities that keep their social energy high. And when they return to their spouse, they're likely going to feel more grounded and connected rather than frustrated or depleted. So balancing independence and togetherness helps both spouses feel valued and secure in the relationship. For instance, they might agree that one weekend each month is for the extrovert to plan a day out with friends while the introvert has a quiet day at home. They can alternate this weekend where they spend quality time as a couple. When both partners feel like their needs are respected, the marriage becomes a place of safety rather than a place of tension. And this approach fosters a marriage where each person feels accepted for who they are while also enjoying the unique qualities that their partner brings. Marriage isn't about changing each other, but finding ways to support and honor each other's needs. When we learn to celebrate our differences, introversion and extroversion become complementary instead of conflicting. And by finding ways to connect that respect both partners' styles, we create a more understanding, resilient bond. At the heart of it, love adapts, supports, and finds creative ways to thrive. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember that love is a journey, not a destination. Stay committed, stay passionate, and stay connected. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Like what you're hearing on this podcast? Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Don't forget to leave me a review and share it with your friends.